Who is Ilia Topuria going to fight at International Fight Week? That is the question that we have to answer. It seems like there's two options here, and it feels like it's all hanging on this welterweight title fight against Belal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena that supposedly Islam is waiting for, hoping that his friend, for whatever reason, slips up so he can go take his belt, which I just think is fucking hilarious in the first place. And I don't think Islam is against fighting Belal Muhammad, to be fair, but it does seem funny that that's always the criticism, is like these two don't want to fight. You know, Belal and Islam, they train together, they're buddies, they don't want to fight. But Islam is also going to be like highly tuned into this welterweight fight, just praying to God that Belal loses so he can go get that second belt. Because he's not really a friend at that point, right? If he's sitting on the sideline hoping that you lose your belt, you might as well just fight. You should fight. And that's how I think it should be. Regardless of what happens, if Islam does want to move up, which I'm fine with, him at 170, there's a ton of fun matchups for him. I'm fine with that, but you got to be willing to fight either. You can't hope it's Jack Della Maddalena if you're going to sit and wait for this, because there's a massive fucking fight waiting for you, and it's International Fight Week, UFC 317. Ilia Topuria has been reported to be in. He's going to be fighting there. We just don't have an opponent yet. And everybody in the world is hoping it's Islam Makhachev, because that fight is massive. It's huge. Ilia Topuria, of course, a budding superstar coming off of two masterful knockouts, which have actually aged even better because we just saw Alexander Volkanovski get his belt back and how good he looked. Aged even better. That's the fight that the people want to see. More than we want to see Islam go to 170 and get a second belt. That's cool. Whatever. But Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev is a mega fight. It's a mega fight. And we may not get it, which is a tough part about it. But we do know we're getting Ilia Topuria at UFC 317, which at least is good, because there was a lot of worry over this last week of like, who the fuck is going to headline UFC 317? We heard Dricus du Plessis is out with an injury. Khamzat Chimaev. We thought Caio Borralho. We thought Nasruddin Imavov. But those don't really do it for me, I'll be honest with you. They don't do it. I love Caio. It doesn't do it. It's not International Fight Week material to have Khamzat Chimaev versus X for an interim belt, I suppose. I feel like it's even too soon for an interim belt for DDP. You know, one injury. Dude already fought this year. It's not like he hasn't fought this year. I'm glad that we're at least getting Ilia. I'm hoping we get Islam. But the other option is Charles Oliveira, which is still a very fun fight. It's a fantastic fight. The stars are out. Charles Oliveira is a massive star in his own right. Which sucks, because there's always going to be that what if. What if Islam and Ilia fought? How good, what would have happened? How good would that have been? Can Ilia really take on a guy like Islam with the wrestling pedigree, the size advantage that he has? Could he really do that? We'll never know if we get Charles Oliveira, because that to me signifies that Islam is leaving the division. Ilia's made it very clear. He's not fighting for an interim belt, and he's not fighting for anything that's not the belt. So this is going to be a vacant title. If this comes true and Charles Oliveira is in this position, it is going to be for a vacant title. The second one that Charles Oliveira has fought for in his career. First one being the vacant title that Khabib left after fighting Justin Gaethje. Now the vacant title that Islam left. I don't want that what if. I'd rather just see the fight, because it's a big fucking fight and it's super fun. And I'm sure that that's the fight that the UFC wants to make. If you're just looking at dollars and cents, Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam has about zero hype on it. Maybe you get some hype from the move up. How does he fare against a bigger guy? Maybe if Jack really puts on a clinic against Belal Muhammad, who's got a similar style, that juice could heat up. The Belal fight would be fun if they do end up going that route. If Islam says, fuck it, I'm fighting him. That's my belt at 170. I'm going to grab it. That fight would be fun. But Belal's not a superstar. Even if he beats Jack Della Maddalena, he's a fucking massive favorite. He should. It's not that intriguing. You know what is? Islam Ilia, a fucking massive fight. A massive fight.